forth and cry, thou that travailest not. For the desolate hath many more children than she which hath an husband.
Come on.
Now we, brethren, as Isaac was, are the children of promise. But as then, he that was born after the flesh persecuted him that was born after the Spirit. Even so it is now.
So come back to the Romans. Read the Romans again. Because I want to come right back to that just to show you why we're reading the seed of promise and the seed of the or the children of the flesh. Right? Romans 9.
Romans 9 and 7. Neither because are the seed, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children. But in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
But in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Abraham had two sons. One Ishmael, the Arab race, and one Isaac. Who comes through Isaac? We're going to get to that in a minute.
Galatians 4:28. Now we, brethren, as Isaac are the children of promise. But as then, he that was born after the flesh persecuted him that was born after the Spirit.
So he that was born after the flesh persecuted him that was born after the Spirit. Again, Isaac was the father of the Israelites. He was also the father of the Edomite race. But the Israelites were persecuted by the Arab race, by the Ishmaelites. That's who persecuted us. Roughly around the 6th century. They was telling us, Quran or the sword. This is how Muhammad and his empire ruled over us. We didn't accept Islam because we wanted it, because we knew it was the righteous way to go. It was forced upon us. And now we come over here like we got something. Like we so big, like we got some understanding. And you follow the next man's religion, a next man's garbage. Listen, Muhammad, during his reign, followed all the customs of the Israelite nation. He fashioned his religion after all of our ways. Right? This is why you see some of them want to cover their heads and wearing dresses. Because they fashioned it all after these scriptures. His Quran is all based on prophecies that are in these scriptures. They take whole chapters out of Isaiah, whole chapters out of Jeremiah, and put them in the Quran and say this is the book. This is the holy book. But what you don't understand, you so-called Islamic, Muslim, black, whatever you want to call yourselves, Shiite, or Sunni Muslim, and you a Negro, you following the ways of an Arab. You following the ways of Ishmael, who is not the chosen nation. Read it again.
Galatians 4:28. Now we, brethren, as Isaac are the children of promise.
Yeah, we're the seed of the promise. We are the chosen nation. Read it.
But as then, he that was born after the flesh persecuted him that was born after the Spirit.
And you can see that within the triangle slave trade. The Arabs played the middleman. Sold us to the so-called white man in the slave trade. A lot of you are not familiar with that, but we're going to bring it to your understanding. That in the slave trade, the Arab played the middleman. He is the reason why we are in captivity to the so-called white man. He sold us to the so-called white man. Right? This is who hunted us down in Africa when we was refugees in Africa. Fleeing. Read that verse again.
Galatians 4:29. But as then, he that was born after the flesh persecuted him that was born after the Spirit. Even so it is now. Nevertheless, what saith the Scripture? Cast out the bondwoman and her son. For the son of the bondwoman shall not be heir of the son of the free woman.
So the son of the bondwoman is not going to be an inheritance with the son of the free woman. They don't have no parts in this home. They don't have no parts in this unless they give heed to Christ. They have to bow down the knee to Christ to confess Christ in the earth. For all you Muslims running around chasing down Allah. It's madness, because the Lord didn't tell us to worship Allah. It's the Most High, in the name of Christ, that we're going to establish righteousness. Not through Allah, not through Muslim, not through being into Islam. Alright? Enough on that. Come to Psalms 83. Because what's not being understood is through these scriptures, people are just reading over who's who in this Bible. And it does matter. Nationality does matter. So we can understand how these prophecies fall out. Alright? Psalms 83, read it from the top.
Psalm 83 and 1. Be not thou silent, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power.
This is a prayer. This is a prayer that the Lord that David, that the psalmist Asaph is pushing for. This is a prayer, man. Lord, he's asking the Lord, don't keep silent. Stand as we getting ragged in the earth. Every nation that had a part in enslaving us, and confusing us, and keeping us down. This is a prayer. Come on.
For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Who's the enemies? He's talking about all other nations that came up against this group, that came and enslaved his people, the nation of Israel. Read on.
They have taken crafty counsels against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones.
They do this today, even so. They did this back in the day, but they doing it today right there at the UN. You don't see no Negro, no West Indian, no Puerto Rican in the UN. All you see is every other nationality. The African, the Arab, the Russian, the Chinese. All those other nations are plotting. What are they plotting against?
They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation.
They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation.
That the name of Israel may be no more remembered.
That the name of Israel may be no more remembered. This is why you so-called Negroes, West Indians, Puerto Ricans don't know who you are today. It's because these other nations took that away from you. They took your heritage, your lineage, and your righteousness away. And now they wear it. They act like they are the people of the Lord. This so-called Jew running around talking about he's Jewish, rocking a yarmulke, covering his head, black dirty suit, running around talking about he's the people of the Lord. Madness.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
They are all confederate against us, the nation of Israel. Every last one of them nations are confederate against us. They don't want us to be back in our homeland. They don't want us to have the Most High in our lives. They don't want us to call upon the name of the Most High, because they know that we're gonna rule the earth. Read it.
Psalms 83 and 6. The tabernacle of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom, the so-called Caucasian, the so-called white man, right? The so-called European,
And the Ishmaelites.
and the Ishmaelites, the Arabs. There it is again. This is proof through the scriptures that they enslaved us, that they cut our nationality and our heritage off. Read.
Of Moab and of the Hagarites.
Of Moab. Moab are the Chinese, the people that you call Chinese today. All right, read it. The Hagarites are the Africans. Read.
Gebal and Ammon.
Gebal, more Africans.
More Africans.
Ammon, who are the Japanese. Read that 7 again.